Good afternoon, everyone. Um, Mostly, I wanted to come on to celebrate the 300th post on Meconomist since 2021. I think that's a pretty big milestone. I'm really proud of it. We have almost 500 subscribers, 11 paid subscribers. I think it's a really good blog, and I think I'm really proud of it and proud of the work that we've done over the years. It does have another author who prefers to remain anonymous, but yeah, we've done really well. I also want to remind everyone that paid subscribers will get a monthly meeting with me on the last Sunday of every month on Zoom at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Central Time, excuse me. But, the subject of this blog is, so it's not a really fully formed idea just as of yet, but I've been thinking about the protests and just in general the condition of our country. And I've seen so many takes from all over the place about these protests and the response from the federal government calling in the Marines and so on and so forth. Most of the takes are just really stupid. Um, they're obvious statements about what's happening and why it's happening. And I think everybody can, realizes that Trump wants to be some kind of dictator, that he's a Bull Connor type character in American history, except he's got control of the federal government. And I think most of this is pretty obvious, but I think what's really striking to me is that everybody is experiencing this in a way that I don't think is really critically analyzed enough. And that's that people are experiencing this very viscerally, whether it be through a fear reaction from the left or a justified murderous rage from the right. And I think that thinking about the mediums that allow us to experience it this way is really what's important. Um, people live their lives more or less vicariously now through television, social media, and that type of thing, and they don't actually have real lives. Everything is mediated by the media, and it's a spectacle, and people live their lives through the spectacle. And whichever way you look at it, these protests are a spectacle. They're a way of trying to transform the media narrative about the country, and it's a battle over who gets to say what the country is. And like I said, people aren't going out and doing that themselves. They're not going out and building things, and especially not like we used to. They're not going out and building things and participating in civic life in a public way, the way it was done, 100 years ago, 200 years ago through town halls and that sort of thing. They're experiencing life through media. And the idea that you can have a democracy that is totally mediated by the media, I think is questionable at best, because people's lives and their experiences in a very literal way aren't real. They experience other people's lives through television and social media, but they don't actually experience their own lives. So they have some sort of emotional stake in, somebody in Alabama has some emotional stake in what's going on in LA, and somebody in Alabama has an emotional stake in something that's going on in LA when it doesn't affect them at all. But their experiences are that it is, in a way, very real, even though it doesn't affect them at all. So like I said, this is not a fully formed idea. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about, Society of the Spectacle and the song Vicariously as created by Tool. And, I'm still thinking about what it means to have a society and a democracy that is nothing but media. And that's pretty much everything that our society is that is totally experienced through some form experienced and mediated through some form of media or spectacle. And I wonder what that means for us going forward. And ultimately it's a form of control, in the sense that it limits people's experiences to what there is beamed into their head through the television. And it limits the range of experiences to what is dictated by powerful companies that control the media. Anyway, like I said, it's kind of a rambly type talk, and my son got all upset in the middle of it, so I apologize for that. But we'll see y'all next time. Peace, y'all.